The SEC is trying to poach some Big Ten assistant coaches for a position in their conference. Let's talk about why it's not going to happen. What's up, Big Ten fans? JR here with the Big Ten Huddle. Appreciate having you here for a little bit of a different episode here, as we're going to be looking at the Tennessee defensive coordinator position and the Big Ten head coach names that are currently being thrown around out there for it. Let me know if you like this type of content. We'll continue to do it if you do. Now, Tim Banks, Tennessee's defensive coordinator this season, he was just recently fired, and it's absolute chaos. Vols, Twitter, the national media, names flying around everywhere. There are four big ones that are being talked about for current Big Ten defensive coordinators, and I don't see any of them heading to the SEC or the Tennessee at the very least. So Ryan Walters at Washington, Chris Hampton at Oregon, Jim Knowles at Penn State, and Bryant Haines at Indiana are all being talked about for this position. Now, on paper, Tennessee's defensive coordinator job looks pretty attractive, right? I mean, it's not the worst job in the world. SEC money, Josh Heupel's got a very good offense that gets a humming there. Knoxville, fun place to live if you like music and all that good stuff. And the Vols, they're trying to take the next step as a program. I'm not here to hate on the job, okay? Normally I would give my typical SEC terrible stuff, but it's a fine job. It's a good gig, okay? But here's the call. Like here's the problem. Here's the reality. For a sitting already successful Big Ten defensive coordinator, three of these have been successful. One was successful in the Big Ten, just not this past year. This is a lateral move at best, and in most cases, it is a step down. Unless Tennessee is absolutely willing to dwarf whatever these guys are making right now, good luck doing that with Jim Knowles. I can't see it happening. And even then, most of them don't have any other reason to leave for this Tennessee position. So let's go one by one and break down why these four rumors, in a way, they I guess they somewhat make sense, but not really to leave. So first up, Ryan Walters, now the defensive coordinator at Washington. A lot of Tennessee writers pointed to the old Missouri connection. Walters was the co-defensive coordinator there when Heupel was there on staff, and it's like, oh yeah, we can have a reunion, great. It doesn't mean it's happening, right? I mean, I'm not trying to say that it can't happen, but it doesn't mean just because they work together. People, what if they hated each other, right? Look at what Walters has done, though, in year one at Washington. He took a defense that was 55th in total defense last year, jumped it all the way up to top 20 this year, giving them allowing just 311 yards per game. And he's got a good recruiting class coming in that is absolutely loaded at linebacker, exactly what his scheme loves. A linebacker driven defense. He wants these type of guys, and a lot of these guys they're very, very high on. More importantly, let's be honest about the two programs at this point, okay? People do sleep on Washington coaching jobs a lot. I think it's partially because of the old Pac-12 bias, but this is a program that has played for a national title 2 years ago. Tennessee has never won a college football playoff game. Okay, so Jedd Fisch, he's got this program pointing up. Josh Heupel has the Tennessee program doing worse than they did last year. Washington's NIL, their facilities, they're very good, and Walters just got there. He's only been there for 1 year. So why would he bounce after just 1 year to go fix someone else's defense when he's already got it cooking and he's already got guys coming in to be good players for him? This feels like a classic, just kind of put the name on the list because it sounds good type of thing, and he'll quickly be removed once they find out that he's not really interested, and I just don't see it happening. Next is Chris Hampton at Oregon. On threes, Pete Nakos dropped his name, and within an hour, it was everywhere. People talking about it, but the problem is that multiple reports, including one from Matt Zenitz, says that that when Tosh Lupoi finalizes his deal to become the head coach at Cal, Oregon is going to promote Hampton to full defensive coordinator, no longer not associate, not assistant to the defensive coordinator. All right, I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's an office reference, okay? So don't come at me. But Hampton has been at Oregon 3 years. The defense has been elite in his time there. This year, they're giving up only 252 total yards per game, fourth in the country. Dan Lanning isn't letting the defensive staff get picked apart. At this point, he's happy for Lupoi moving on, but typically these guys move on for head coach positions, not DC positions. Also, keep in your back pocket that Hampton played safety at South Carolina from 2004 to 2007. So everyone knows that the second the second that Shane Beamer gets fired, which feels inevitable at this point if he doesn't have a good season next year, Hampton probably the only position he would leave for is that head coaching position there, if he even gets it offered to him because of his former Gamecocks ties. So why would he leave a promotion at Oregon to go to to go to Knoxville when he can just wait a cycle and probably run his own defense at his Oregon? I don't get it. So again, I think this was a name thrown out there that just kind of sounded sexy, but doesn't really pass the smell test, in my opinion. Number 3, Jim Knowles at Penn State. This one made me laugh a little bit. Okay, some national writers wrote paragraphs about Jim Knowles, won a national title at Ohio State, and everything else, and how he was previously the head coach at, or not previous, that not like most recently, but he was a good defensive coordinator at Duke, Oklahoma State, as if like that's exactly what they want, right? But Jim Knowles, he just finished year 1 at Penn State. The defense was not necessarily everything you wanted it to be. James Franklin got fired. Things didn't work out, but they have won their last 3 games of the season. And unless Jim Knowles is not retained on staff by Matt Campbell, I cannot see this happening. So Knowles, I mean, he's the defensive coordinator there. He's getting paid buku money to be there. John Haycock could possibly come in and be the defensive coordinator, but there's a lot of rumors out there about how he was contemplating retirement before even coming to Penn State. So he might just be coming in as an analyst or something like that. And Jim Knowles looks like he's probably going to stay on because they don't want to pay the buyout, and they still do believe in him with the right head coach. So the only time a Penn State defensive coordinator has gone to Tennessee was Bob Shoop in 2016. I know Banks went there, but he was co-defensive coordinator. But that was also when Penn State was coming off their sanctions, and Franklin, he was brand new there. So totally different area, totally different stuff around the program. Unless Knowles suddenly gets canned or anything like that for John Haycock, I don't think that's going to happen. I can't see him taking this job. And finally, the one that Vols fans want the most, and it's definitely not going to happen, is Bryant Haines at Indiana. Now, Go Vols 247 wrote a section of their article basically saying, if you watched Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, why wouldn't you go get Haynes? And it's like, honestly, you wouldn't go get Haynes because Haynes is at a better job now, right? Yes, you're not wrong. You would want to go get him, but the guy, he had a fantastic season. Looks like the best defensive coordinator in the season. Last year, he was a Broyles Award finalist. Probably he's probably deserves it this year after everything, they've been through this season and everything else. But here's the thing. Haynes and Curt Cignetti, they've been attached at the hip since 2014 at IUP, minus 1 year. Elon, James Madison has followed. The defense has been nasty at every single stop. Indiana just went undefeated, won the Big Ten, and is about to make a legitimate run at a national championship. So I'm sorry, but the Indiana defensive coordinator right now is just a plain better job than the Tennessee defensive coordinator job. I know it's hard for some people to understand, but it's not happening. So better team, better momentum, honestly, better money at Indiana, I think, better alumni base, all this stuff and more with the Big Ten TV deal because you have more money with your school too. So, and you best believe Indiana's going to pay up to keep Haynes there as long as they can. So Haynes isn't breaking off the Band-Aid, to go to Tennessee or anything like that. So where does this leave Tennessee? They're not going to get a sitting defensive coordinator in the Big Ten. Okay, they might get like a Big Ten, like Doug Belk was somebody that was mentioned, so they might get like a Big Ten, position coach job. He's the defensive backs coach at USC. But I don't think they'll go for that. I think they probably want a sitting defensive coordinator or maybe a head coach who just got fired, ready to go from being fired to be a defensive coordinator or something like that. Justin Wilcox is a hot name for that, but it's not. Tennessee's defensive coordinator is not a proven enough position to pull a sitting Big Ten defensive play caller away from a team that's already in the playoffs or about to be really good for a long time. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is Tennessee, are they just kind of, wishing up a mountain here? What's your thoughts? I'll be shocked if any of these 4 go. Jim Knowles, I guess, is maybe the most likely, but even then, it's not very likely at all because he would just be likely if he gets let go at Penn State and they bring on Haycock instead. But again, I don't think that's going to happen with all the rumors about his retirement and everything else. So stick with us here at the Big Ten Huddle. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We appreciate you being here. Have a good one.